stream announcement. Nerdy Talk with XenoLich. Oh, let me actually set this back to the D&D Beyond homepage. I am super excited. I love... Oh, that's right. And let me go ahead and open up music again. Alright. And same thing. Timer set. We have exactly 9 minutes till we officially start. So feel free to use this time to go get yourself refreshments. You know, gotta keep that gotta keep your vocal cords moistened while we talk a lot about character stuff.
So moist.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, I will be right back. Really? You do that with the blanket? Alright, fine. Sit? No.
This damn fire origin, I like that the parasite inhabits your body and you indulge in the hunger to sate it.
The hunger, and it could be anything. We were actually here. I'll type it out to you because I don't think it's appropriate for stream.
Okay, I feel like I already know. Oh, someone needs to pull up mix.
Yeah. Hello. We are live. We are on the 10-minute timer.
Now I have been in a real MCR kick. What are you looking at me for? You want to get up here? Get up here. Whoa there. What are you doing? Oh my gosh.
Is that a dog or a cat?
It's a dog. It's my dog.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, I see. Mex is here now. Hello, Mex.
Where are you?
Hello.
It's just greeted by dog.
Pick where you want to. Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, don't sit on my keyboard.
There you go. Okay. I now has the Gatorades. I has un burger.
Here you can lay down.
I'll say, Max. So when you're deciding, have you decided which one from your show and tell list are you gonna bring to class?
Yeah. I think I only have like I made a bunch of them, but I only kept like 2 of them.
Okay.
You're so big, but you're such a baby.
This is big baby. And all I was gonna say is, if you guys didn't know as well, if you go to the Twitch stream, you know, this is to my guess. If you guys open up the Twitch stream, you can actually open up the chat in its own window. So in case someone has a question there, you guys can also react to it in case someone wants to talk to you guys about your ideas. You know what? Let's go ahead and adjust this. I also do know it's been a little bit of time, but there also is Unearthed Arcana subclasses out right now, which I think are coming in the new book.
What subclasses are those?
I know I think Monk and Ranger both got the dragon-based subclasses. So Way of the Ascended Dragon and Way of the Draconid. Sorry.
Oh, those.
Let me pull them up actually. So let me pull up. I need to pull up the races, and I need to pull up each of the classes that has potentially having subclasses so far. Okay. Boop boop. Because while the main topic is, of course, for the Unearthed Arcana races, it's not a bad idea to also talk about the new subclasses as well. All right, here we go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races to be working with. Artificer does not have a Unearthed Arcana. Alright, I gotta just open all of these up at once and see how they all fare. I know Bloodhunter doesn't because Bloodhunter doesn't really get any support at the moment. Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna lie, sometimes I forget that it's a class.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it's a class, but it's not like an official one because it is Critical Role content, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. So we have a few to work with. Okay. This one. How long has this one been? Do you guys? The Undead Unearthed Arcana. That's an old.
For
the Undying.
For Warlock, there's Undying, and then there's the Undead.
It's been there forever, I swear. I
let's
swear
see.
it's been in Unearthed Arcana for the longest time. It's at least
That's what my Warlock was when we were doing the PvP back when, so it's been a while.
Yeah. All right. I was gonna say, hello, Rogue. Welcome to this. As you probably already know the topic at hand tonight, right?
Yes, Unearthed Arcana.
All right, so
the Bard has a new Unearthed Arcana.
It does. So here, allow me to put this out. So I know for a fact that one is definitely going to be in the new book. So the College of Spirits, which is really nice. We actually have Monkey in the Sunday campaign, which hopefully will be streamed soonish. Not an exactly a session 1 type of thing for you guys, but you know, a general thing for people to watch. He is playing College of Spirits. He kind of forgot to put on spells session 1, but still, he managed to play it off pretty well. And since he started off, I think he's already been using some of the features from it. Yes, he's been reading he's been reading from his book all the time. Every chance he gets, he finds a way to like tell a new story and utilize it.
It's just usually pretty funny for him because he's like super quirky, as we all know.
Right.
But I love College of Spirits. I'm a huge Bard fan.
Oh yes.
Huge Bard fan.
I like
College
the
of
unknown
Spirits
one.
is
for
like
Tales from
super.
Beyond.
It's okay. It's a super buff Bard.
Yes, it is.
So you super buff your teammates or yourself with your tails. It's freaking amazing.
What were you saying right now, Hive?
I like the unknown one for Tales from Beyond. Cause I don't know, I like just unknown, like incomprehensible, like shit from space and all that. Oh,
Oh fuck! Hold on, I just
a
realized.
lot of these too, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's funny because Monkey's playing that one, which is Unearthed Arcana. And in that same one, I'm playing the Warlock one that's also Unearthed Arcana.
Really?
Yeah, that's my Warlock, the I die, I blow up.
Oh, so yes, here, to answer this question as well. So on top of the College of Spirits, the other two Unearthed Arcanas that are definitely new is the Monk Way of the Ascended Dragon and the Drake Warden for the Ranger. The Drake Warden's pretty nice because you actually get like a little dragon companion. It doesn't have a fly speed from what I'm seeing, but I think it does gain a fly speed when you... Let's see. Yes. Oh, this is interesting, actually. I'll probably go further into these. So this is at least the format I see. Right in the very beginning, I'll go ahead and we'll do a brief overview of the races. And then because the races are a primary and the subclasses are a secondary, we can then just kind of like shoot through those really quickly, especially because there's only 3 of them that we really want to cover, which is the Bard, the Monk, and the Ranger. And while we're not limiting the character creation to these Unearthed Arcana, it's definitely not a bad idea to keep these Unearthed Arcana in mind, because the Bard College of Spirits is coming out in the same book that the Gothic races are coming out in, so there might be some good synergy there. Oh, hold on, actually. We had passed the 10-minute mark a few minutes ago. So let me go ahead and welcome everyone to the Nerdy Talk with XenoLich. I am here joined today by my good friends. We have Rogue, who you all know used to play Deborah on the Saturday crew.
Yo.
We have Mex, who plays Daruk in the Monday crew. Everest.
Hello, welcome.
There you go. We have Hive, who plays Quinn on the Tuesday crew.
Hello.
And of course, we have Skittles, who who used to play Thea on the Saturday crew.
Hiya.
More people will probably be jumping in and out as the stream goes, but regardless, today's topic is about Unearthed Arcana character creation. So, just wanted to go ahead and give a brief overview as to what we're referring with Unearthed Arcana, if any of you are new to this idea. So, first off, Unearthed Arcana is D&D beta. It's where they release content that can be prone to change, and sometimes you'll probably see in upcoming books. For example, we already know for a fact that the Vampiric, Hex Blade, and Reborn are guaranteed to be showing up in the upcoming Ravenloft book, along with the Bard College of Spirits. So, when you do make a character in mind with these things, keep in mind that you're playing with something that might be a little bit broken, might be a little underwhelming, and so when it comes released in the new book, there have been plenty of surveys submitted from people playtesting these, so that way D&D can hopefully get it right, and when they release it, it is a beautiful addition to the game overall. But regardless, today's primary focus is on the races, but it doesn't mean that we're not shorting out the classes. So, one by one, we have the Dhampir. The Dhampir, everyone's been wanting this, everyone's been needing something without the actual flavor text that the monster manual gives us to make them overpowered. This is a kind of pseudo vampire subrace. It definitely draws from the fact that it hungers for something, and so while you can roll for anything on this table, for example blood, dreams, or even esoteric humors, you could go along with your DM to kind of come up with something else as far as what you hunger with. keep that in mind as we're going through the character creation, because that's really going to be a huge thing. Damphiers are all about being a little bit faster than your average person with a 35-foot walking speed, so like your wood elves. Ability score increases. Every single one of these races that are going to be the gothic themed ones always are increased one score by 2 and another one by 1. It is not strict, just like Tasha's Hideous Laughter has caused us to move forward with these optional rules. Languages, because the gothic races are, you can flavor the gothic races as you are currently look like another race while actually being one of the gothic ones. So for example, you could technically be a Dragonborn Damphier, so you lose your Dragonborn traits but keep the Damphier ones. Your languages, creature type, you are considered undead you're considered both humanoid and undead. You are medium or small, you choose when you gain this lineage. Dark vision, you can see up to 60 feet, spider climb, and vampiric bite. So we have ways to move around. We already know what spider climb is going to allow us to do. Vampiric bite is a nice way to actually be able to heal for some of the damage that you dish out with an unarmed attack. And on top of this, you can, I believe, use this. Yes, you can use this number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So pretty late in the game, you probably won't be using this as much, but still it's a nice source of quick healing in your games, because I believe it's a... You fangs count. Oh, yeah, it's just a standard attack roll you make. There's no bonus action abilities for this. Cure Wounds still works on you since you are considered a humanoid, so that's something to keep in mind moving forward with a lot of these things. And I believe there was one other note about these. No, that was just more flavor text. Okay, so moving forward from the Damphier, still going with the Gothic lineage because I want to get through those first. We have your Hex Blade. Now this is definitely for something for the hags in mind. People who've been wanting to play the hag, granted I haven't seen it myself, but I definitely know there's a want to be the spooky witch of the swamp. You can have your Hexblade origins, how you went across to turn into this kind of hag-like character. Walking speed of 30, ability score increased just like usual. Language is the same thing. Creature type, you are both humanoid and fey. You are medium or small when you pick it. Dark vision, fey resilient. So here's where we actually get to the unique ones. You have advantage on saving throws to make you avoid or end the charm condition on yourself. We have Hex Magic, which is the ability to cast Disguise Self and Hex at will. We have, and here we go, Magic Token. Here's the one I'm really liking about this one. So as an action, you can harmlessly pull out one of your nails, a tooth, or a lock of hair, and this token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. While the token is imbued this way, you can use an action to send a telepathic message to the creature holding or carrying the token, as long as you're on the same plane of existence and are within 10 miles of it. The message can contain up to 25 words. And in addition, while you're within 10 miles of the token, you can use an action to enter a trance that allows you to see and hear through your token, and afterward the token is harmlessly destroyed. So a really good item, especially for a lot of your more espionage and spy-based missions. I feel like we're going to see a lot of play from this. One other thing to also note about this one is that this is a pseudo-hag. If you do wish to continue down the hag line, your character does lose the properties of being a character and becomes a monster that the DM eventually controls, following the standard hag CR ratings. Then, before I move on to the next one, we have Nixian, who usually plays Nixius on the Tuesday crew. He has just joined in.
Hello.
Perfect. And moving on with the last of the 3 Gothic races, we have the Reborn. Now, this is a fun one. So, this is your Frankenstein, your Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. It is someone who has once died and is now brought back via some sort of construction. You have a lost memories table that you can roll on because you might not be the same person that you once were. You have an origins table that you can go with. And just going through the basic stuff, 30-foot speed, 2 ability score increase, languages, your creature type. You are both humanoid and either construct or undead. You can choose when you pick this lineage. So here we have another entry into undead, but now we have another entry into construct because of the fact that we have something to rival the Warforged, now being the second construct race. It's medium or small, dark vision, deathless nature. So similar to our Warforged ally, you have advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned, and you have resistance to poison damage. You have advantage on death saving throws because you are reborn. That is something that is new to us. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, pretty standard, and you don't need to sleep. You only need to enter a long rest for about 4 hours, which is motionless emotionless state in which you retain consciousness. And the last unique part, knowledge from a past life. You temporarily remember sporadic glimpses of the past, perhaps faded memories from ages ago or a previous life. When you make an ability check that uses a skill, you can roll a d6 and add the number rolled to the check. You can use this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and it all refreshes after a long rest. Already quite a lot, but just so far, what do you guys think about the Gothic Unearthed Arcana races that are going to be coming out soon?
I think it's something interesting.
You could live out our vampire fantasies from our emo phases.
Exactly, right?
I never had one of those, so.
No, that's fine.
My phase was full of edge.
I think it's pretty cool. It gives you a if you decide to do a more spooky character than, like, let's say a lion guy or a goblin or an elf. You have a, I guess, for sounding edgy, a darker option.
If one thing I would say about the Gothic races is that, so we're all familiar and we probably have all made a character with this background at some point, but the Haunted one. I felt like when the Haunted one was introduced in Curse of Strahd, right? I felt like when the Haunted one was introduced in Curse of Strahd, it wasn't, it kind of was just a weird addition, because while it makes sense for the campaign, it didn't have like a full Gothic race or like, sure, there are subclasses at the time that really could help it, and there are subclasses now that can really help you get into that Gothic theme. But I didn't feel like any of the races provided really gave you that lineage. Now we can actually take the reborn Haunted one, and you can make it that you're haunted, what you're haunted by are the memories of your old life. And then you can mix that in with any of the darker subclasses to really get this full Gothic experience. But without further ado, let's introduce the newest ones. These ones, we don't know if they are going to be coming out in any of the books, though with the fact that we have some pretty highly requested ones from the community, this is probably going to be something we're going to see in the future. So, starting with the strongest one, the one that opened it up, Fairy. Finally, you can be your little magical sprite person. So you have your Fae characteristics that you can all change about yourself. They do point out is that your wings are never exactly selective. You can really construct it in any way. Your ability score increases. Now, here's something that was interesting that is unique from what I'm seeing to the Fae races. You have the option of taking 2 in one stat and 1 in the other, just like most every other race, or you can take 3. You can take 1 in 3 different stats. So a nice little way to add in and give a little bit more variety, especially when you're working with the Fae races. Languages, common and one other language that the DM agrees is appropriate for the character. Probably going to be some sort of Feywild language. Your creature type, you are strictly Fae. There is no humanoid Fae option with the Fairy. You are always small. Your walking speed is 30. And Fairy Flight, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover, meaning you can stay in place. The flight is magical and does not actually require the use of your wings if you have them, so you can be a wingless fairy. Fairy magic, you have...
Language be Sylvan.
That probably would be it. I think Sylvan... I think that's just it. But, you know, to each their own. For example, you don't have to be a creature. You may be a Fey creature, but that doesn't mean you probably came directly from the Feywild. On top of this, Fairy magic... Druidcraft and Fairy Fire are given to you as spells, and you can use Fairy Fire for free once a day, and you can choose either Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma to be the scaling stat. And lastly, Fey Passage. You can squeeze through a space that's narrow as 1 inch wide. I think, just right off the bat, this race alone, it's hard to not give us a race that can do this ability to squeeze through a space that small, and say that they're a small race without giving them the actual tiny size, because that definitely seems like a tiny race thing, and you're probably going to have a bit of discussions going around with this, and that's definitely something I want to put into a survey, that if you're putting the fairy in, just go full force, just make it a tiny race. That's something everyone wants to see. Here we go. Here's another one that's a really good contender, the Hobgoblin of the Feywild. So we already know hobgoblins for a while now, and so what this is that it seems like this is going to be a new option when you're picking your hobgoblin race. So it's going to be a type of sub-race to go along with it. Same thing as before, 2 or 1 ability score, or 1 in 3 different stats. Language, common in one other language you pick. Creature type, now this one you are considered humanoid. You are medium, walk speed of 30, you have dark vision. Because of the Fey ancestry, you have advantage against being charmed for both avoiding and ending it. And here's the two feats that are really gonna make the Hobgoblin nuts. So, you can use this trait called Fey Gift to take the help action as a bonus action, and you can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest, and then starting at 3rd level, you choose one of the options below each time you take the help action, whether as a bonus action or as a regular action. Hospitality. You and the target of your help action gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus. Passage. You and the target of your help action each increase your walking speeds by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Or Spite. Until the start of your next turn, the first time you or the target of your help action hits a creature with an attack roll, that creature has disadvantage on the next attack roll that it makes within the next minute. And finally, Fortune from the Many. If you miss with an attack roll or fail an ability check or saving throw, you can draw on your bonds of reciprocity to gain a bonus to the roll equal to the number of allies you can see within 30 feet of you, with a max bonus of +5. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And with that ability, here we have Friendship is really it. You can have your anime moment where it's like, I have my friends with me. Yuck! Don't
That's
fuck
gonna sound
Freaking
pretty
love these
busted.
abilities.
Oh my god.
right? Don't fuck with me. I have the power of friendship and anime on my side.
I mean,
See, I
It's-
really like it because the original Hobgoblin has the same ability, but his is more like, I don't want to look weak around these people because you know.
wait, did someone just say friendship is
hobgoblin.
magic?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
now-
That's
but
what I
now
was like
because,
heaving about when somebody said friendship is magic. I was like, "Huh?"
And here, of course, everyone, before I move on to the next races, we have Zen, who you all know plays Zenith in our Monday campaigns.
The only time
Howdy,
that
howdy.
we have.
And so,
What's that? Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's such a broken class, and I love it.
right? And so, we're going on to the 3rd out of 4th of the Fey races, the Alfog. The ability score increase, same as usual, 2 and then 1 or 3, or 1 and 3 different stats. Language, same thing, common in one other language. Creature type, you are humanoid. You can choose to either be medium or small when you select this race. Walking speed of 30. Dark vision, which is up to 90 feet instead of the 60 feet like some races. Magic sight. Your keen senses focus to see the presence of magic. You gain the ability to cast Detect Magic, but only as a ritual. Your spellcasting can either be Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, and you can cast this spell normally with any spell slots you have. So, while I do notice that it says you only gain it as a ritual, I think the last line is a bit contradictory because rituals don't take from your spell slots. But I'm assuming that it's stating that if you're using it from the feat, it's a ritual. If you're using it from your class, it's also can be a ritual. So I think it's a little weird and a redundant to say you can only cast it as ritual, but you can also cast this with any spell slots. Nimble Flight. You have a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and when you fall, you can use your reaction to make a dex save to stop falling and fly in place until the start of your next turn. And Silent Feathers. You have proficiency in the stealth skill. This is a really nice addition. It's nice to get more bird races going on with it. I think this is our 3rd one now because we have Kenku and Aarakocra from before. And lastly, now here's what I did not expect to see. Rabbit Folk. Rabbit Folk is 2 and then 1 or 3 or 1 and 3. Language, same thing. Creature type, you are humanoid. You can choose to be medium or small when you pick this race, so same thing to the Alfog. 30 feet of walking speed. Hair trigger. You have proficiency on your initiative rolls. Leperine senses. Leperine senses. Language English is not the best thing for me. You have proficiency in perception. Lucky footwork. When you fail a dex save, you can use your reaction to roll a d4 and add it to the result. There is no limit to this, nor is there how many times you can use this a day or in a other than just using your reaction. And
boy.
and rabbit hop. Here's the part that's nuts. Once during each of your turns, when you walk at least 5 feet, you can hop, rolling a d12 and moving that many feet in a direction of your choice. This extra movement, this extra distance does not cost movement, but you can hop only if your speed isn't 0. So, I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding with this one from my Discord. Someone had stated that you could hop every 5 feet, but because it just states once during each of your turns, you're only gaining this once per round. It's entirely free to use. And here's another thing that's interesting. D&D usually works in spaces of 5. So this D12, I don't know if this would be either a rolling as, okay, if you get, 1 through 4, it's counted as 5. 6 through 10 is counted as 10. And like 11 and 12 is counted as 15. That'd be nuts if that is, because that means Rabbit would be the fastest race that'd be out there, and it'd be interesting to see the Rabbit folk versus Tabaxi race. But with that, these are the 4 Feywild races. What do you guys think about these from what I've said?
I think it's pretty interesting, really.
Owl
Seems-
people, best bird.
Someone's gonna make the flash with a rabbit. I'm telling you.
Who's gonna win the race? Tabaxi or Rabbit Folk? Race around.
I don't know.
You know someone's gonna make a rabbit folk and then flavor it to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh wait,
Oh
I
my
just realized you could
So
totally.
just cream the rabbit?
Now that we have the Rabbit folk, guys, forget Tabaxi. Rabbit folk versus Turtle.
Yes.
Or you can breed them and make a cabot.
What?
Oh no. Huh? Where's the where's the fox one? We have to be careful for Zootopia out here.
Oh no. Oh no.
But here.
It's gonna be like that comic all over
There's
again.
a wild shifter there. for you.
There we go. And so, while our primary focus is on the races, of course, during character creation, it would be sad if we didn't explain and the 3 Unearthed Arcana subclasses that are coming out. The College of Spirits is a new Bard subclass, which you'll hopefully be able to see on Sundays, depending on how soon we can get that set up. But with this is a subclass that's all about reading and using your stories to inspire or cause harm to your enemy. Inspire your allies or cause harm to your enemies. Guiding Whispers, you have the guidance cantrip automatically given to you from this, and for you it has a range of 60 feet when you cast it. Spiritual Focus is this feature that comes back at 3rd and 6th level, saying your practice of containing spirits can employ special tools. You can use the following objects as a spellcasting focus: candle, crystal ball, talking board, terracotta deck, or a skull. And at 6th level, when you cast a bard spell that deals damage or restore hit points, roll a d6 and you gain bonus to 1 roll of the spell. You gain a bonus to 1 roll of the spell equal to the number rolled. Tales from Beyond. This is the story bit. You have what looks to be 12 different stories, and each story has a different feature. I'm not going to go through all of them because we're going to be here forever if I do. But just understand that I think it's about half of these are detrimental and half of these are beneficial. And you can choose a target after you read the book. From here, Spirit Session. You can channel spirits to gain insight into magic. You can conduct an hour-long ritual channeling spirits using your spellcasting focus. You conduct the ritual with a number of creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, including yourself. And at the end of the ritual, you temporarily learn 1 spell of your choice from any class. The spell you choose must be of a level equal to or the number of creatures that conducted the ritual or less. The spell must be of a level you can cast, and it must be of the school of divination or necromancy. Chosen spell counts as a bard spell, but doesn't count against the number of bard spells you know. And once you perform the ritual, you can't do so again until you start a long rest. So, pretty nice to know that we have a way to pull from other classes. And finally, Mystical Connection. Your connection to the spirits becomes semi-permanent. Whenever you use your Tales from Beyond feature, aka the D12 for the reading, you can roll a D6 and use it instead of expending a Bardic Inspiration die. You still use your Bardic Inspiration die for the Tales effects without spending it. So, nice way to kind of do infinite story reading. We have the Monk, Way of the Ascended Dragon. Here it is, American Dragon, Jake Long. And so, Dragon Disciple will allow us to, when you damage a target with an unarmed strike, you can change the damage type to acid, fire, lightning, or poison. Let's see. If you can't already, you learn to speak and read Write Draconic. And if you fail an intimidation or persuasion check, you can use your reaction to re-roll the check. Once this feature turns a failure into a success, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. And here we go. Breath of the Dragon. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of the attacks with an exhale of draconic energy in either a 20-foot cone or a 30-foot line that's 5 feet wide. Choose a damage type: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison, and each creature in the area makes a dex save against your DC, and it's equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die on a failure or half a chance on a success. At 11th level, it turns into 3 rolls of your martial arts die, and you can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain it all when you have a long rest. And while you have no uses available, you can always spend a key point to just use it again. Wings unfurled. Here we go. You can unfurl spectral draconic wings at the end. When you use your Step of the Wind, you can unfurl spectral draconic wings from your back that vanish at the end of your turn. And while the wings exist, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and when you don't have any uses available, you can spend a key point to do it again, along with Step of the Wind. And Aspect of the Worm. The power of the Draconic Key now radiates from you, protecting your allies, and punishing any who raise arms against them. As a bonus action, you create an aura that has about a 30-foot radius from you for 1 minute. Choose the damage type from the standard dragon types that there are. While the aura is up, these are the following effects. You and your allies within your aura gain resistance to the damage type you chose. Waves of destructive energy streak out from you when you or any of your allies are attacked. When any of your allies are hit by an attack made by another creature within the aura, the target that was hit can use their reaction to deal an amount of damage equal to the one of your martial arts die based off the damage type that you chose. And finally, Ascended Aspect. You have officially hit the limit. You gain blind sight out to 30 feet, and while within that range, you can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in darkness. Moreover, you can see invisible creatures within that range unless the target successfully hides from you. When you damage a creature with your Breath of the Dragon, the energy clings to the target, and at the start of each of the creature's turn, it takes damage equal to the type of one of your martial arts die based off the damage type you've chosen. And at the end of their turn, they can repeat the save to end the effect. It is based off of a... Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's based off the save that you make before. And lastly, when you do your Aspect of the Worm, you can choose number of creatures. You can choose any number of creatures you can see in your aura, and they take 4d10 of either of the damage types above. And finally, the last subclass that we have to go over just before we actually explain any of the character creation with any of this stuff is the Drake Warden for the Ranger. And so with this, you officially have a small little dragon companion. I'll explain this one first. It has its own stat block. It's pretty nice. It looks like it's pretty standard scaling based off of like the Beastmaster Ranger, except it has the Infuse Strikes reaction, which allows it to do an extra damage, a d6 based off of the Draconic essence when you create this ally. Oh, here we go. It's an action to summon the Drake too, and when you summon it, you can pick the damage type. On top of this, you learn Draconic to read, speak, and write it, and you learn Thaumaturgy, and it counts as a ranger spell for you. Bond of Fang and Scale. This is something that's really cool. While your Drake is summoned, you gain resistance to the damage type that you chose. You choose one of the following effects when it's summoned. Your Drake either gains a swimming speed of 40 feet, and you can both breathe in air and water, or the Drake grows wings and gains a flying speed of 40 feet. And the Drake's bites attacks deal an extra 1d6 of the damage type chosen for the Draconic essence. Drake's Breath. As an action, you can exhale a 30-foot cone of damaging breath or cause your Drake to exhale it. Choose the damage type. Each creature within the cone makes a dex save or takes 66 of the damage type, and the damage increases to 8d6 at 15th level. Once you use this feature again, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, or you can expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to use it again. And finally, Perfected Bond. Your Drake, who originally, I didn't state this, your Drake was actually a small companion. That's kind of one of the big things about this thing. Let me see. It does not gain any size throughout the levels until you get to your final feature called Perfect Bond, where now it goes from small to large at 15th level. Your Drake's bite attacks deal an extra 1d6 of the chosen damage type. And when either you or your Drake takes damage while you're within 30 feet of each other, you can use your reaction to give yourself or the Drake resistance to that instance of damage. And with this, just same thing as I did before. What are your guys' thoughts on the 3 subclasses that we just went over for the Unearthed Arcana?
College of Spirits is my favorite. I don't care about any other ones. Even though they're cool, the College of Spirits one is too cool.
I finally have a reason to play Ranger now.
Yeah.
Imagine having a reason to play Ranger.
What? You're playing Ranger?
I mean,
Get the hell off, man.
I don't know if
Get
I've
outta
seen
here.
I don't know if I've seen anyone play Rangers since Tasha's Cauldron, but Ranger does have some nice things going on for them now that you don't have to take the favorite terrain or favorite enemy.
Yeah.
Wasn't Vale, or was he a blood hunter?
Blood Hunter. Definitely a Blood Hunter. I think he did a Blood Hunter Ranger multi-class, but it wasn't enough to kind of see the full capabilities of it.
Hmm.
However, though, I played one in the one-shot dungeon we did. It was poggers indeed.
Progress.
And so, finally, we have gone over all of the Unearthed Arcana stuff that is to be coming out, and we have a lot to kind of take a look through. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get the table started with Unearthed Arcana ideas. I'll go ahead and make this very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will save myself for last, and I will roll a d6 to see which of you will present us with the idea. Starting with Zen. Zen, using the Unearthed Arcana races exclusively, what is your idea that you would want to bring to the table as far as a character creation?
Ooh. You had to start off on me, huh? Hold on. Using just the Unearthed Arcana.
Races exclusively. Just the subclasses, you can pick whatever you want. And the idea with this is that it's just theory crafting. So feel free to tell us what you'd imagine for either level 1, 10, hell, even 20 is up on the table. Just, it's an idea that we're kind of getting across.
You know, can you come back to me for a
Sure.
second? Because, like,
Sure.
I actually,
All right,
was
here.
kind of in the middle of doing something else real quick, but
No,
I
no.
can definitely, cobble up something real quick, though.
Yeah, no problem. So here, the next person I rolled up, Nixian. Why don't you go ahead and give us an idea?
Okay. So you know how there's what's it, reborn race, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right out here, Springtrap and D&D.
Springtrap and D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I actually really like that. So it's the idea that you're working with the construct, okay? So tell us a little bit more.
Yeah.
What is Springtrap? Are they a rogue? Are they a ranger with what, urban as their environment? Like, give us a little bit more.
I'm guessing Rogue, since he's able to convince people to follow him and stuff, and he's very sneaky when it comes to murdering people.
Yeah. I think he also has like isn't it in the game you fight him, he's all about you suffer hallucinations from him from like playing the game,
Yeah.
right? So I can totally see this as your arcane trickster. Oh, that's
Ooh.
scary. Since arcane trickster for a while they're actually locked to only knowing enchantment and illusion based spells. This is totally a way to play Springtrap in this. That's a sick idea. All
Yeah,
right.
so I have an idea about the fairy, though.
Okay. Shoot us.
The fairy intrigues me just because, like, you don't see a lot of creatures being small, especially with the ability that it has of Fey Passage. Narrow things like that. A fairy could actually become probably the master of stealth and assassination, quite
Uh-huh.
honestly. Just
Now, you say
because of the fact.
stealth, but I was gonna
Stealth,
say
yes.
Alfog rogue, and that's literally
But-
come on, that's decision. That's
But
decision.
Here, hold on.
you figure, okay,
Nah.
like for a fairy, you could go rogue, but you could definitely do like a lot of, like, if you had sleight of hand or anything like that, stealth, you could get away with so much with that because literally you can squeeze through a space narrow as 1 inch wide as a fairy.
Yeah.
So
we're-
basically, a lot of the world is just opened up to you immediately. So if there's anywhere you need to get, you can get there. Plus, the thing flies too. So it's like, what the hell?
Wait.
There's nowhere that this thing cannot get, and coupling that with like a rogue would be absolutely insanity. You get so much hijinks out of that.
So
And that's what I'm kind of looking for. You could either go a thief or an assassin and just do kind of crazy stuff with it. Because I mean, guaranteed, you can really mess with some people that way.
So basically what I'm hearing is this is a really cool idea because like even something as narrow as 1 inch wide could indicate a keyhole, right? In some-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when that idea came to my mind, I'm like, oh shit, Tinkerbell. She's too thick and gets stuck in the
She's
keyhole.
Oh no.
Damn, I was just about to say that.
But that is an idea I would love to see rolled with, especially because who knows? I would say these are really cool ideas to probably take into the one shots that we're probably going to be doing in the future with the Candlekeep mysteries. I'll be explaining more about that later in the stream. But that is a sick way to really run it. And on top of this, let's see what there is a certain skill set on top of the actual squeezing through spaces. There's another one that they also get, the fairy magic. So Druidcraft and Fairy Fire. Druidcraft is totally a way that you can use, because normally Druids run this because it very much is in tune with that. But because of the way Druidcraft is, you can use this to disguise a lot of your stealthing into locations that you normally wouldn't be able to get into.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially the last one, instantly light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wouldn't even see you coming.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Oh,
So I mean, like, God help me if there is ever a really powerful fairy like assassin just wandering about, because guaranteed they would get a lot of good like death strikes or something like that, and it would be absolutely insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just had an idea in my head: a fairy demon lord.
Oh no. Alright, and so here, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the next roll up. We have Skittles. So I know she is on mute, but I do have the character idea that she did want to bring to the table as well. We are taking a look at the Hobgoblin of the Feywild that is focused in on Druid. I remember one of the major reasons about this was, so here, before I actually go into this, what are your guys' thoughts on the Hobgoblin, just from what we kind of saw?
I love power of friendship.
Yeah, that ability alone is gonna be probably overpowered, especially when it comes to like like tanks, like barbarians.
Yes. And I think what's another thing is that the help action is going to be probably nuts with this. But
Yeah.
here's something we noticed. When it got released, we saw we saw a Reddit post about it, and people are, I guess, more upset that the Hobgoblin was kind of released rather than like another race getting this subclass. But I'm totally down for this. I love the way the Hobgoblin is working, especially because one synergy that I'll probably bring up later, Mastermind Rogue. Keep that in mind with the fact that the help action can be performed at 30-foot range with that subclass exclusively. And now you have this really broken race class combination.
Cool.
But here, let's go ahead and take a look. We have a Hobgoblin Feywild Druid. This is something where you can really push this, especially because... So let's take this Power of Friendship idea. Now, what Skittles has presented us is Circle the Moon. Something that is very much something we've seen from the very beginning, but now you have this animal who, when you hit high enough levels, you can actually run this, you can run these attacks that really are going to hit like a truck, and when you have the Power of Friendship on your side, no one's going to escape the bear with arms. Or, even crazier than this, so, one thing that is known about Druids, you typically can't cast spells until you hit 18th level while you're in Wild Shape. So, you take the Circle of the Moon Druid, which can hit, let's say, by 18th level, you've hit Mammoth. A Mammoth Stomp is 4d10s plus 7. Mix the Primal Savagery Cantrip. The Primal Savagery Cantrip gives you an increase to damage equal to 4d10s of acid damage.
What?
So, you now have a Mammoth that has claws on its feet, which is a really weird idea. And when it stomps on you, you're going to take 8d10s plus 7 damage. And it is a casting time of, let's see. Here we go. Casting time of 1 action. You make a melee spell attack, and on hit, the target takes 1d10. Okay, let's see. Yeah. You can mix this in. The Mammoth also has the ability that when they make an attack with Gore, you can also spend a bonus action to do the Stomp action. So the Gore is 4d8s plus 7. The Stomp is 4d10s plus 7. Mix these together with the Power of Friendship, and you have yourself a really scary Druid that is almost always going to hit its magical attacks that it got at 6th level from being a Circle of the Moon Druid. But without further ado, let's go ahead and see. All right, Hive. what do you got for us as far as character creation goes?
Or I mean a starburst, but oh, that was good. I was looking at the Vampire race with, honestly, any of like the Gothic lineage races with like the College of Spirit Bard.
Okay. Run us through one of them. I guess your favorite one to run through.
I like the Vampire one because I don't know. I have a thing for vampires and all that.
I think there's a good amount of people who'd agree with you about that. Here, let's take this.
I can like, yeah.
So one thing I was really interested about the vampire is the hunger. There's a specific D8 roll you can do in it, and a thought that occurred to me: if you can be reliant on dreams for your hunger, talk about some really interesting things. So, take the dreams idea, okay? We can clearly like hunger for intangible things that some creatures could actually hunger for. I think there's an actual Dream Eater creature, but because the Vampire is a race that it can be built on top of another race while replacing its attributes, take the Kenku and take the Vampire, put them together, and you have a Kenku Vampire. And now imagine this: the Kenku's mimicry is also his hunger. He hungers for new sounds.
That sounds pretty interesting. All right.
And then you take this with your idea, with the College of Spirits Bard, and so these new stories are mimics of what they've heard before, and these stories are like intriguing. This is what they probably crave. They hunger for stories.
That's kind of
right. Even if you take it another step further, you can also make it that like it's the victim's last story, and you realize that this Kenku is also a murderer, and it's just like that makes the stories have a more morbid taste to them.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting, especially if she's
like recounting the story, and like the last thing it does is like it's the sound of the person dying. Oh my gosh.
Right? Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like the last noise. It's the fucking Lilo and Stitch, and then just at the end, ah! All right, story's over.
Yeah.
All right, here, Rogue, run us through this. I understood you said Alfog Rogue earlier. Go ahead and run us through that a little bit more.
Okay, so basically, with the Alfog, you will hold on. So, Alfog are basically proficient in stealth. So I just thought, maybe we could just go with Rogue, but also adding on Rogue, and then their abilities or what school then, or whichever Rogue you choose. What the hell? I was gonna say Rogue Assassin or Rogue Mastermind. For the Alfog.
That I'm trying to think. Alfog is innately proficient with stealth, and because of the fact that you're taking Rogue, you can get the expertise in it, and then one other thing with a new proficiency that you're taking. But when it comes down to this, one Rogue subclass I have not seen anyone make a build for is Scout. I would love to see an Alfog Scout. Yeah, right? People forget that it exists, and people are like saying that like people are saying that Scout is a pseudo Ranger Rogue. Let me pull that up. Let me see about this. So game rules, Rogue. Yeah, I've literally seen people make builds for everything but Scout. Scout is this skirmisher. You can move up to half your speed as a reaction when an enemy ends its turns in 5 feet of you. And since you have a flying speed built into this, you can just fly away to constantly gain the advantage of moving away. And on this top of this reaction, moving away, does not provoke opportunity attacks. Survivalist, you gain proficiency in nature and survival. So already we're looking at a really huge, powerful skill-based subclass mixed with this Alfog, who has nature, survival, and stealth all built into its race and class, on top with whatever other proficiencies you take as a rogue. Superior mobility. Your walking speed increases by 10 feet, and if we saw anything from the Alfog, is that your flying speed is equal to your walking speed. And if you have a climbing or swimming speed, this increase applies to those too. So now as an Alfog, you have a climbing, swimming speed, and flying speed equal to your walking speed. And Ambush Master. Starting at 13th level, You have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, the first creature you hit during the first round of combat becomes easier for you to strike. Attack rolls against them have advantage until the start of your next turn, so that's an easy sneak attack. And then lastly, sudden strike. If you take the attack action in your turn, you can make one additional attack as a bonus action. This attack can benefit from your sneak attack even if you've already used it this turn. But you can't use a sneak attack against the same target more than once in a turn. So this is a way to double assassinate, bam, knock out 2 people with sneak attack damage, having an advantage on the first creature. The second one you're just going to attack normally, but still, this is a really mobile and scary type of thing to imagine. Now that we have Alfog to have this third proficiency and a flying speed on top of this climbing and swimming speed built in. And lastly, go ahead, Mex, and run us through what you wanted to bring to the table.
So most of the characters I make, either they make because they're really good to play with, or they're memes. I decided to go with the Owlfolk Wizard, and he's a war wizard.
Okay.
I made him tiny because he's a tiny pygmy owl in an oversized robe. And also because he's small, he can pass through medium-sized creatures. So in case, the monsters get too close, he can run through the tank while still blasting with powerful magic.
Mm-hmm. I like this. Especially because as a wizard, you're probably already going to enjoy that proficiency to stealth. Because wizards, I don't think, actually get a lot of proficiencies to pick from, like Rogue and Bard do. So it's nice to have any other addition. And if you're a Warcaster wizard, this is a super, anti-mage, I'm going to hide away from the battle type of wizard.
Yeah, and they have the slightly more extended dark vision, which is nice, because you'll probably see things before they see you anyways.
Mm-hmm. I think, here's another thing that I think was overshadowed in the Alfog. Let me go ahead and pull it up quickly. The Alfog has this nimble flight, which is the ability to use a reaction to stop flying and fall and fly in place. This means you've made a wizard who is unable to take falling damage as long as they have their reaction up. Nice. And that also could imply that the wizard themselves can cast... Actually, hold on, I think you'd want to cast Featherfall first, and then you would follow up with this reaction. So that way you don't have to worry about your allies taking damage, and then you yourself are also safe from the damage.
Yeah, that's another one, because I couldn't remember what the limit was for Featherfall, but I was thinking that way you wouldn't have to worry about it. The whole party's basically secured.
I think Featherfall is a limit of 5, so with this you finally have a 6-party Featherfall that you can run with, and then you have Magic Sight for the detect magic, so that's, hey, what wizard doesn't like getting a free spell? Alright. And then one thing that I thought of when I was coming through and taking a look at these things, I think I stated it earlier, but imagine a fairy, artificer, and because the magic from your the flight doesn't have to be coming from your wings, if you do have any, I was thinking that this artificer was someone who was crippled, and what they did is that they constructed their own wings, and that started them down the path of being an artificer. And then from there they started to make gadgets that were here to help others. So this is kind of playing to the artificer in a less selfish way by providing at least every single one of your party members an item to help to be used. And I think when it came down to artificer stuff, I would probably want to make this an alchemist, because it probably makes sense that your Feywild creature probably does know a lot about their herbalage and stuff. And so you have this subclass that I don't think I've seen a lot of artificers take. It's in comparison to the others, it's not underwhelming. It's just everything else is kind of bigger, and everything is louder. Better yet, you have your artillerist cannons, you have your armorer. That's a literally Iron Man thing. And the last one I think is I'm forgetting the last artificer subclass name. Battlesmith, and that is the construct. So the alchemist I don't see a lot of play with, so it'd be nice to take this fairy who runs this whole I want to help others so that way because I help myself. And on top, and playing to that role, you have an alchemist that can provide potions and stuff during battle. So this is a support artificer fairy. But here, let's go ahead and see this then. So with everything we've come up with, go ahead and what would you guys probably want to do as a spin on each other's characters? If you guys maybe noticed something that either you felt like could have been improved, or maybe there's a race that has better synergy that you think of.
Shut up about my fairy assassin. The way it is.
Come on, fairy demon lord. Come on, man.
So,
you know you want to just take
I made a fairy, and again, it was purely for the memes, but it's a bard fairy, who's part rogue just because, expertise. But it plays the world's smallest violin, even for itself. So it's like Mr. Krabs using his fingers, but it's a fairy. So this fairy is only like 2 feet tall. So it's the world's smallest violin and plays it every chance it gets.
That's great. I'm actually digging that. Comedic relief immediately. Always the bard.
Oh, here we go. Fairy barbarian. I'm so angry. The fairy dust turns red.
I'm so pissed.
Could you imagine there would be no escape from that if you were trying to run away from it? Because the thing flies.
Like, oh, look at it. It's so cute.
See, the funny
But
thing
I don't know if it
way
could really
to
hold
watching,
any weapons.
I was
No, it
watching
could
a
probably hold
stream
weapon.
where
Just
one of them
imagine.
was playing a fairy barbarian, and it was the funniest thing ever because she carries a great axe, so all you see is the great axe flying towards you.
That's fucking. That's
Wow.
actually pretty fucking hilarious. Not
Oh
gonna
wait, guys, it's it's obvious. The fairy barbarian. Why didn't I think of this? I am Jogan von Strangle.
Oh,
my god.
Oh man.
This fairy and all the fairy
yes.
Given the +2 to strength and +1 to con. Why is this little thing tankier than the Goliath? I train Goliath, friend.
Just make an entire. That's a way that you could just do everything. Is just make an entire team of just fairies because you already got the flying. So what else do you need? You could just instantly do anything.
Bro. You know how fairies can fit into like narrow spaces that are 1 inch wide?
Yeah.
If you make a gashing wound that's that like wide, you could probably just go inside, rip them apart inside out.
Oh god, that's horrible. I also like this.
I like it.
That druid can be invisible too, like Skittles is saying. So, you run this fairy that can squeeze into the most narrow spaces, turn them invisible, and to go nuts. Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. That's it. Enlarge/reduce. The fairy is innately, like, from what we see in the options, the fairy is a small race. Cast, reduce on them, and now you're tiny. And then that 1 inch space that you can squeeze into as a small creature, I guarantee you is probably going to be even smaller than that.
Now, hear me out. Heat metal.
Okay.
As a fairy, you're hiding, and you see the person. You use heat metal on whatever the fuck they're wearing, and since they can't take it off, it's gonna slowly burn them to death.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
And they won't find out where the hell you're at because you're just so damn small.
Oh my god.
I know there's going back
Actual madman.
going back to the last time we had a talk. I think Hive, you brought up the it was like a strangling creature, right? Like the way, the choker, the way it hides in like little crevices. It's just the fairy, but it's heat metal.
That's wicked right there.
Yeah.
That's a demon fairy if I've ever heard one.
Oh god. Take this another step. So just take the crack in the wall, but put the fairy in there, right? Take the druid fairy from what Skills is saying, and have them do what was it? The druid cantrip vine whip, where like it grabs someone and then pulls them 10 feet closer. You just like grab someone by the neck and pull them into the crack.
Pull them into the fucking crack. That's some Freddy Krueger shit right there.
Yeah. Oh man, this is nuts. Okay. I really like. Okay, let's be honest. I at least think that when it was coming to mind, the fairy was the reason they kind of were making a lot of this Feywild stuff, and then they kind of it's just the whole like we got to make other Fey stuff. Let's give people something out of left field since we're
Yeah, let's
adding
make
fairy.
a Fey Goblin. Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, let's make a Fey Goblin. We can't do regular Goblin though. That's already kind of a lot. Let's just do Hobgoblin.
They've already done super like different things of Goblin. Like you had the ones that were like what the interdimensional fucking goblins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Like, I can't remember what the hell they're called, but yeah, it was like that one. I was like, oh, okay.
And then I think by far, while the fairy was kind of something that we've probably been waiting for some time, the Alfog and the Rabbit Folk really came out of left field for me. I was not expecting them at all. But now that we have them, I can't stop thinking about like these different ideas. But
You just want to make Judy Hopps, you sicko.
no, that's not it.
Yeah.
But
I do. Yes.
oh my god,
Just
yeah.
make Lola Bunny, bro.
Right now.
There's,
No, Judy Hopps would be a great paladin.
dude, yeah, especially because now there's the Oath of Order, right? There's the Oath of Order paladin, which is straight up a cop.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can basically make Judy Hopps in D&D.
Mhm.
So don't tell all the furries.
Exactly. Hey, going on to this Fey idea though, one thing we have not talked about, and I think this is just there's so much other stuff that's really cool. It's a shame we kind of forget about this one. The Hag. The Hag, especially with what I added in, where they can a nail, a tooth, or a lock of hair, it can just harmlessly take it off and use it as kind of like a spy mechanism. I think do this with the Warlock. Hear me out. The Warlock, and then you take the talisman you take the talisman item. The talisman does the same thing where you can give it to someone and it allows you to see and hear through that. Now you have the eyes and ears all over because of the Hag built-in rage feature and the Warlock talisman feature together. And I think they were talking about adding another idea for this, like a book where you can write down stuff in the Pact of the Tome. So let's say you have this whole like tooth and nail stuff. You take the Pact of the Tome instead of the talisman, and now you're able to read through and teleport to whoever it is based off of what you see because of the book, or teleport them to you if they're in danger. And then you take the Hag Warlock idea, and then you take the what did we say was probably going to make a good espionage? The fairy, right?
Yeah, the fairy.
Yeah.
All right, Agent Sparkles, get in there and find out what's going on. Oh no, I've been compromised. Bink. The Hag who saw through their eyes because the fairy was like wearing the lock of hair like a belt, all of a sudden gets teleported back because of the Pact of the Tome feature.
That's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's some really crazy synergies with a lot of this stuff, especially if you want to make a certain party dynamic or you want to do a duo dynamic. Because there's bound to be people in the group who pair up because they have really good synergy with each other, and you find that when you're making character creation or as you're going along through a campaign, you realize there's synergy with the way your guys' characters work, and that's what kind of builds upon this.
That would be pretty wild.
But
See, for the Hobgoblin, I was thinking a bard would work. Because a lot of the times what I see the bards is if they don't have a spell that works, they just don't use their action.
if they have a spell that doesn't work, they just don't use their bonus action, you said? The Hobgoblin could be good. I think here, let's take this Hobgoblin idea. So we take this, and the Hobgoblin is all about doing the help action, which if you're not playing a subclass that benefits a lot from using the help action, I almost never see people use the help action. Maybe if it like you're like thinking to yourself, there's got to be something I can do. Can I do the help action? It's like it's always kind of this like, I guess I'll do it. But with this, oh yeah, 100% I'm gonna do the help action as a bonus action. Hell yeah, give me this. I'm doing the Fey gift all over this.
And it'll be great because you can give your inspiration to one party member and then use the help action on a different one. That way you're helping multiple people.
Mm-hmm. And since you can, it states that you can gain these features, whether or not you're using them as a bonus action or an action. And there's no limit to these because, you can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So starting off at level 1, you take the Fey gift. You can do help as an action and as a bonus action. So you touch your 2 allies and provide them both with the hospitality buff. now they both have a 1d6 temporary hit points added to the added 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus. So that's a minimum of 3 with a maximum of 8 temporary hit points onto the barbarian and paladin at level 1. That's a lot.
Ooh.
That's a lot, actually. Take the pass. Take the
Sorry
passage.
if I'm a little bit quiet. I'm making tacos right now.
You're good.
I hear it.
Take the hobgoblin passage feat once again, and so you can use a help action to increase the walking. You and the target of your help action both get an increase of 10 feet. I don't know if this stacks. It doesn't say it doesn't, so I'm gonna assume it does. So if you do an action and a bonus action to do the passage ability on your Alfog gets a walking speed increase of 20 feet, which means their flying speed, climbing speed, and swimming speed, because the scout, all get increased by 20 feet.
Nice. So that's 50 feet, right?
That's 50 feet. So that means your
Ooh.
Alfog has a 15 feet of 4 different types of movement options.
Very cool.
Yeah. This is always really cool about it. It's just all these different types of synergies you can go over. Let's see.
Now
Let's-
imagine giving them haste.
Right? Oh my god, it'd be over. Oh god, guys, that's it. Because of this hobgoblin, we have to make I think we have to revisit how to make the fastest character in D&D again. Oh man, this is nuts. Okay, assuming I always want to say, whenever we were coming up with a really dumb idea, you can't have clones, so you can't have duplicate hobgoblins that are just standing by giving him the help action. And if we're talking about this, then it comes back to this whole which is faster, the Tabaxi or the Rabbit Folk. If they're both level 1, no features added in, Tabaxi can dash as a free action. There's no class that gives you a bonus action dash at level 1. So we only have one dash and a free dash from the Tabaxi. So right there, that's a double dash. With a walking speed of 30, you're looking at 60, then 120. Now let's take this Rabbit Folk. Same thing. One dash, they don't have a double dash, so right off the bat, that's 60. And in one turn, you can add a D12, and at least if I were to run it, I would say a 1 through 5 is 5 feet, a 6 through a 10 is 10 feet, and an 11 or 12, I'll just round it up to 15 feet. That means that this is 60. That speed is set to a certain number, so I'm not going to double that. So that's just 75 feet of movement. This Rabbit Folk, it falls very far in comparison to the Tabaxi. And once let's say you do add in the double dash to the Rabbit Folk, you're giving a triple dash to the Tabaxi. The Tabaxi is always going to outdo this thing at speed because it's meant to be the fastest. Yeah, it's kind of it's a really fun way to kind of work with it. Actually, here's a fun idea. So this Rabbit Folk hops, right? It's technically considered a jump. Cast the jump spell on them to triple their jump distance.
Oh,
I mean, if you're gonna cast it on him, might as well cast Long Strider and Haste.
Right? Let's see. Is jump available as a first level spell?
I believe so. Yes.
think so.
Let's see.
I don't know.
Spells. Might as well
I can't
jump.
get this College of Spirits Vampire in my head. It's like a team of them. This is the more evil one. A team of them go around like small villages, doing seances for people, and then they kill them after and take what they need.
Oh no! Call of the Spirits. Okay, here we go. So jump is available at first level, and it triples it triples a creature's jump distance right off the bat. Okay. Let me see. Rabbit Folk. You can hop. This extra distance, and because here's I think what the craziest part is. Okay, the rabbit hop does not cost movement to do. So since it's a hop, which I would classify as a jump, the jump spell, which normally jumping costs your movement to do, this means that this D12 that is being tripled does not cost any movement to do. So that would mean at most, if we're going off the logic that I did, where I'm always rounding up, a 36 would round up to a 40 feet movement increase from a max rolled d12 with jump. That's nuts.
Ooh.
So that's 100 feet of movement. But wow, hold on. Take a look at this.
Maybe it's rabbits, it's carrots then.
Yeah. Even with this now, we have 40 feet. We've given the rabbit 40 feet. The rabbit has an innate 60 feet of movement. And even with all of this, that's with dash included. Even with all of this, that's still 100 feet of movement. This is not including the fact that the Tabaxi has moved 120 feet without any spell buffs. So at least while we don't have the fastest race in D&D, we have a very decent second to it. And then all of a sudden the rabbit, the Chad fighter rabbit fights the nerd monk turtle and just loses in the race again.
Oh, there's some bullshit. My ancestors won that race, and you know it.
Exactly.
No.
You cheating son of a bitch!
Oh man, there's so much to unpack here with these races, because I think it's just there are so many races in D&D.
I want to get a turtle. I want to color him blue, and then
I'm expecting Master Oogway to go Master Oogway on his ass on that fucking rabbit folk.
Here, this is I'm pulling out my notepad for this. So, Unearthed Arcana so far is adding in. I'm gonna treat it as a separate race because it is technically one. So we have 7. One Grug above is just adding another one, so that's 8. Locathis is another one that's adding one, so that's 9. Axis incorporates so far 10 races. Another 5 to make it 15. 16 from the Gith. 21 from Ebron. 22 from Tortle. 23. Nah, I'm just gonna make it 22 because it's. Now I'm gonna make it 20. You know what?
you fucking make up your mind, please.
Yes, I am sorry. I am very, very finicky about this. You know what? I'm gonna keep it at 22, and we're gonna go ahead and include the tiefling into it because the hobgoblin definitely is gonna be something separate, in my opinion. We have a grand total of 12 from Volos. That's so far we're at 34. 3 more from Elemental. 2 more from Mythic Odyssey. And we have 10 more. We have jumped from 42 races to 49 races in D&D.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
Yes.
That's more than Pathfinder.
I'm just glad
now.
they stopped
Let's say
making
that.
fucking elves.
Let's
Right.
get to the Fated 69.
All right. Let's get to the Faded 69.
What would I'm like, honestly, I want more races. What would they make? Like, there's so much.
All right. And then here's another thing that I usually do. So technically there's 14 classes overall, but I don't think just saying I'm playing the barbarian is enough. You have more often than not you're building D&D and you're gonna hit 3rd level at some point. So these options only go crazier. So instead of 14, I'm actually gonna take the number higher based off of how many subclasses there are in total. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,
All
5, 6,
5,000
7,
of the
8.
clerics.
Right? So right off the bat, we have 8 from the Barbarian. I already know for a fact that the Artificer's adding 4, so that's 12 in total. How many does the Bard have right now? Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. So we're at 20 classes so far, just from those 3 alone.
It's a lot of education.
Right? A lot of colleges to go to. Oh, that's right here. How many does the Cleric have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 subclasses from the Cleric.
Nice.
Yeah, my age 2
1,
years.
2, 3,
Just
4,
hearing
5,
the
6, 7. 7 more from the Druid. So we went from 35 to 42. Fighter has a good amount too, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 from the fighter. Oh man.
Imagine a cleric fairy just casting a Finger of Death.
Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm back.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Hello.
10, 11. 11 from the monk. Welcome back. Right now we're kind of just going over the fact is D&D already has a lot of combinations going on in it. And so now with the inclusion of not just, it could have just been one like the Grung and the Locathic, but we're getting a grand total of 7 new Unearthed Arcana sub races. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Jesus.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the way, we're just on Paladin, and we're already at 64 different classes if we're separating the subclasses.
Fucking God,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 from the Rangers, so now we went from 64 to 72. And I think the only other one that might be a competitive to Cleric is the Wizard, but let's see. For now, we're on Rogue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 from Rogue. So we have jumped up to 81.
Don't really like about all these classes though. Yeah, the classes and the races and everything. Somebody new to D&D is gonna be extremely confused.
Oh, right?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying is like there's a good because you got the experienced players that are like, yeah, new stuff, and then you got the well, you got the old players saying that, but then you got the new players that are like, what do I take? Like, what's going on here? Like, what's good? What's not good? What do I do?
I think, if anything, it's all up, this can be said about
It's all up to
anything in
personal
life.
preference, but at the same time, it's overwhelming.
Actually, that's not what I was going to go off with. I think this can, your mileage is going to vary on what I'm about to say, but it depends on your approach. To a new player saying, what do I take because of the overwhelming options, that's because the DM has probably presented them with, here's all the classes, here's all the races, and here's all the backgrounds. Go ahead and pick. That's overwhelming. But if you take it on the idea of, if I just want to ask the person, a simple question is, if you could be anything you want in fantasy, what would it be? And so they tell me their idea, and as a DM, I help filter that idea. So instead of seeing these overwhelming options, you'll probably have, like, a good set of options, especially because probably the easiest thing someone's going to tell you is what they want to be. If someone, like, as far as race goes, if someone tells you I want to be a fairy, here's a fairy race, and then from there, I'm like, what kind of fairy do you want to be, It's overwhelming if you present it to be overwhelming. And also now here's the wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it just lost the cleric by 2 more. So we have a grand total of 110 classes. And I am not going to include backgrounds because there are just way too many fucking backgrounds to put into this. But we have this, and now we go from... I'm going to do this originally. So, with... Backgrounds technically do make the character... do sometimes give you that little bit of extra depth, but that's just more flavor. We're talking about, like, when someone asks you what you're playing, you usually say a race and a class. And so, with the original, it was 4,620 options. Now... you have 53,090 options with 7 new races.
Oh my god.
And
that's a lot of options.
it is. And on top of this, you take in... don't forget the fact that multi-classing is a thing. So within your 20 levels, you can multi-class, at any point. Some people multi-class 2. I've seen people multi-class 3. You have the dreaded I multi-class into everything option.
Yeah, jack of all trades and asshole of all.
Alright, exactly. I have level 1 features of everything. Alright, now,
Alright.
what can you do with them?
How are you going to be helpful? I'm not.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Listen, okay, I've done so many different campaigns where you got that one person that's like, yeah, I'm gonna be talented in everything, and I'm gonna be so, like, useful, and then they just, like, start multi-classing, and I'm like, so...
No.
How do you feel about yourself right now? Because you have literally done dick all.
Oh, man. I think if there's anything, I always tell myself, if you want to multi-class, have a good
Choose-
image in mind of what you want
Choose
to do.
2 or 3 maximum. Any more than that is just basically wasting levels.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For multi-classing, you need a plan ahead to like your next life to make it work.
Because
Yeah.
there's been some multi-classing ideas that I've seen in the past. The first time a player had done multi-classing in my campaigns, this is a dude who was already experienced in D&D, and after reading through the rules, he made a Hex Blade Warlock because you can conjure away and resummon your weapon, mixed with the Eldritch Knight Fighter who has a bound weapon that can fly to them. So he never had his weapons on hand at any time. But whenever he was getting ready for combat, he would just put his 2 hands out. One weapon would fly to him from wherever it was in the world, and the other one would conjure up in his hand.
Now, did you guys take into account like travel time for his weapon?
Yes, we did. We were.
Okay.
I was dying of laughter because we were playing it Out of the Abyss, and
Yeah.
he had left. So they were in the labyrinth in Out of the Abyss, and that's a good few months away. And so then he's like, I want to call my weapon. I'm like, where'd you last leave it? And he says to me with a smile, I left it in Gontalgrim.
Well, you're gonna be waiting
What?
for a while, bud.
And so he gets it calling, and I'm like, this is quite a bit. And so I ruled it as, you know what? It's over time something's gonna build up speed. It's never gonna be like a fixed distance. It's trying to get to you as fast as possible. So I just told him, you, Yanogu, and the rest of your party hear a rumbling through the rocks as your weapon comes flying, decking Yanogu in the head for a critical, and I'll give you some extra, and I'll give you the barbarian brutal critical.
Cue like
So,
Mortal Kombat
the thing-
X-ray, like fucking skull breaking.
The thing what I would say is like, all right, everybody roll a con save because y'all are about to be deafened by the sonic boom that this thing is about to fucking do.
Here,
Just trying to
How was
fucking
the show
travel,
coming
man.
at you
actually,
full
hon,
force?
that's a question.
Exactly.
This is the question I have. So when a sonic boom is caused, right? Is it a matter of the sonic boom is damaging those who are in the initial in the vicinity in which it started, or is the sonic boom a continuous thing that?
It's a continuous thing
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
because you're excessively breaking the sound barrier like that.
Oh man. So it's just, all right, everyone. Yanogu has died, yes, and so have all of you from the pure fucking thunder damage that was done to your eardrums.
Exactly.
Have you ever hear like a jet go like as fast as it can, or like an air like a spacecraft coming back down to orbit, and you hear that giant boom?
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Oh man.
Out of the ground, right in your face, and just hitting someone in the face. Like, damn.
Yeah. There's just.
Here's an answer that I just barely pulled up about this. A sonic boom first occurs when the plane crosses Mach 1, and the plane continues producing sonic boom as long as the speed stays above Mach 1.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
So it's very loud.
So here, now it's just the question of, okay, this is what we come here for, right? The theory crafting. So, the sonic boom is caused when you hit Mach 1. How fast is the plane? How fast is Mach 1?
Mach
Let me get
1.
my cord board and
Yeah,
stream
here,
real
hold on.
quick.
How? I'm just gonna Google it. How fast
Yeah, you
is
can look it up.
Here we go.
Mach 1?
767 miles per hour.
Jesus Christ.
So convert that to feet per
It's fucking
second.
wild.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now let's take this. Okay. We're about to do some really stupid math, and this is what I fucking love about.
It's D&D all
What
about,
D&D
dude.
about.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Okay, Underdark Travel. Okay, so in the adventure, I'll give it this. They're probably close to the maze engine, and Gontalgrim is right there. So every one hex is 24 miles. And remember this: the weapon came to their hand in the next round, so it arrived to them 6 seconds later. Okay. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll give it 11 squares. So 11 times 24 is 264 miles.
So not quite breaking the sound barrier.
Well, here it cleared 264 miles in 6 seconds.
Well, you got to do the math for that then.
Okay, here. Let's do this. So I'm trying. What's the fucking what kind of math do we have to do for this? I need-
Calculus.
Yeah.
Calculus.
And
My bane.
your Bane. Okay, can you help us out with this? Can you help us solve this
Oh,
issue?
God.
Fuck, I have to open up something.
All right, here. We know this. We already know that we're just trying to get the speed. We know that it cleared 264 in 6 seconds.
So here, let me do this.
264 miles in 6 seconds?
Yeah, 264 miles.
767 divided by 60, then divided by another 60. So that is 12 miles per minute is the speed of sound, and then you have divide that by another 60 is 0.2 miles per second. So this is it was actually going much faster than the speed of sound. Probably Mach 3 if I had to think about it.
Mach 3 is 2,301 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And you said it was going how fast probably?
So I'm just basing it off the relative speed of sound.
Uh-huh.
The speed of sound is you have 0.21 miles per second, and you're saying in a span of 6 seconds, how fast did it go?
In 6 seconds it went 264 miles.
64 divided by 6, so it went 44 miles per second. So that definitely beats out Mach 2. Let me do this shit real quick.
On 40
That's around 390 feet per second.
So literally, this thing was actually going. Let's see, it was.
Here, give me a number as far as miles go, and I'll just keep increasing the Mach speed, because I have a.
That's what I'm doing right now, dude. So
Okay.
that would be, bro, that's above Mach 50.
What?
We're reaching speed where
The
Is that
fucking
like regular-
gauge that I'm looking at stops
Is
at
that,
Mach.
bruh. Is that faster than the
Let's
speed of light?
That's faster
I
than the speed
believe
of light.
it is actually.
Okay,
Wait, what is the
Holy
speed
shit.
of light?
hold on. The speed of light is 186 miles per second.
Okay, it's actually less than the speed of light. Because this is 158,400
What about the speed of sound?
miles per hour. So
150. You said 154.
158,400 miles per hour for what that weapon did.
150.
So if it did what you said it did, which was, what was it again?
Here we go. I'm actually getting closer to it. Okay. 158,000, right?
Yeah.
It was going around this ballpark, but it was going around Mach 206.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, dude. Yeah, everything would probably die.
Pretty sure everything
God
within
for
like a mile
magic.
radius of it's like
Yeah,
path will
I
die.
think. Now I'm gonna fucking uber nerd this. How much?
How
How-
big is the sonic boom as far as like?
No, not how big is a sonic boom. We're not testing sonic boom anymore. That's small time. How
the
much
air currents,
power?
bro.
How much power is an atom bomb? Because I'm pretty fucking
God.
sure.
Can you
I just wanna
imagine the
let you
fucking
know-
air currents that are made from this speed?
I just want to let you know that that sword killed a lot of people wherever. it
Oh
was
yeah,
coming from.
definitely.
Oh, it wasn't even. You know what's the worst part? It wasn't a sword. It was a hand axe that was going
Oh.
through. So just-
Good.
and so on top of this,
17 kilotons.
this is also putting.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude.
This is also assuming that if we're going by bound weapon and he was basing it off of Thor, we're like it has an increased speed and a slow speed, right? So it just keeps getting faster and faster until it hits finally to the point where it's going to get in contact with a person, and it just kind of vroom, right?
That would cause natural disaster levels of wind and more.
That would be a nuke.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be time traveling
That's
at that
actually
point?
fucking. No, it would not.
That
Because
is
it's
time
not. It's
travel.
not breaking past the speed of light, though.
Yeah, if it were, then we'd probably talk.
Then it would be experiencing time travel if it was breaking past the speed of light.
Yes.
Because
You basically created
relativity is
something-
all in light speed.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we've already gone over that. It's just over 200 and just around 206. What? Mach 206. That's the actual term. It's not a number before it.
Yeah.
But that's nuts. It's fucking ridiculous. And so now it just comes to the matter of if it's going that fast, how hard is it hitting? Because there's also a thing where it's like when it collides with something and stops, there's an amount of G's that are catching up to it and like doing damage, right?
Exactly. Not only G's, but if you're having this thing carve through like rock and shit and bringing that with it and not slowing down, there's a lot more solid shit than just air that's getting pushed along with this thing.
This thing is probably like emitting an earthquake.
It's a natural, like, this is like a world-ending fucking cataclysm is what you just made up.
Oh my god, that was fucking nuts.
The sheer force of this would probably wipe multiple continents off the fucking
that
map.
character probably did a small genocide.
It just vaporized on the spot.
This dude is basically like, don't worry guys, I know how we're gonna end the campaign and deal with all the demon lords at once.
Deal with everything all at once.
Hey, quiet you.
This time my sword is coming from hell.
Well, okay, hold on. I think that's the huge thing about this. It has to be within the same plane of existence, but regardless. So the whole point of the Out of the Abyss is that it's the demon lords, and okay. Regardless, you do have to fight all the demon lords. I think it's up to the players if they want to fight them all at once using plot stuff or fighting them separately as you encounter them. And so imagine getting to the point where like you center all the demon lords in one spot. And you left your hammer because the furthest point you can be is in Gauntlgrim. That's as far as canonically in the adventure goes.
Okay.
And so then you do this, and it's not. Oh, hold on. Even more nuts. We're about to. It's probably going further than this. Let me see this. So that was 264. Okay, come on.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Instead of the 264, one of the planned locations where you can have this final fight is in Menzoberranzan. So instead of 264, it now went
It's
300.
Menzoberranzan, but okay.
Menzoberranzan. it now cleared 380.
I'm an R.A. Salvatore nerd. Don't ever do that again.
Thank you so much. Here. Instead of clearing 264 miles in 6 seconds, it's now cleared 384 miles in 6 seconds.
Half the planet's gone now. What do we do now, guys?
Half the planet's gone.
It's just floating off into space.
There it goes. So, dude, where's your weapon? All the way on the other side of the world?
Yeah,
Don't worry,
imagine
you're
if
gonna
he
have to
fucking
figure
missed
out
trying to
how to-
grab that shit and it just
There you go.
slingshot it out in the abyss.
I don't think it like it's supposed to be a bound weapon. It's going to get in your hand one way or
It is
another.
going to get in it.
It's going to
Well,
get. In
I mean,
your
like
hand.
he's obviously going to be like vaporized on the spot from just the sheer energy
right
that
because
thing just fucking did.
because even if it's
However-
You don't know how much power it's going to take to stop that thing.
well here let's put this in retrospect. Even if we take into account that by Thor's hammer logic, it kind of it slows down as it's reaching your hand, so it doesn't damage you when it hits you. At the arc, at the center of this travel time, that's probably when it's at its fastest point. Wherever that epicenter is, it's done. Oh man, I love
Even past the epicenter, like even if it's slowing down and coming towards his hand,
Mhm.
dude is probably gonna get like whisked away by like even more shit that's just flying at him because this thing decided to slow down, and everything behind it is now going as fast as it was, basically creating a tsunami of just shit coming out there.
Oh man, it brings along with it the Dark Lake, part of every creature that's in the Underdark
yeah.
with it.
It's a world ender, dude.
Oh man, I gotta take a look at this because I think all of this was just because it was really hilarious. Let's see. I want to take a look at the fighter, and let's take a look at Eldritch Knight. It was something about weapon bond. Oh, okay. Okay. We played it off that he was calling it to him, but here's the whole thing about the weapon bond. It teleports to your hand. So all of what that was just purely because it was fucking hilarious to just have happen. But in reality, it's just gonna bink. That's still great though.
I sure hope so, because that would be just terrible to exploit.
Right?
It's like the scene in Devil May Cry Baby where the moon gets cut in half.
I mean,
You blew up the
sorry.
moon.
Who
Just
blew up
pounded
the
down like
fucking moon?
just pounded down like 8 fucking tacos in the span of like 15 minutes.
Oh,
Hold on.
fuck.
I feel
That
that.
is not
I
good.
want to do that.
But you know, I thought the human, like the peasant railgun was a huge fucking thing, but now think about it this way. I think a lot more fuckery can come if you actually have something that could just go through shit
Mm-hmm.
and like go towards your hand that quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that were to actually like do that, that's a world ender, man.
Uh-huh.
Like, congratulations, the campaign's over. Everybody's dead. You can all go home now. I'm gonna cry.
It's like this is the actual moment when a DM can legitimately say, "Rocks falls, everyone dies." The end.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's not just
Falls,
rock;
everyone
it's
goes
everything
splat.
that comes
The
with
end.
it.
Oh yeah, I'm
Fucking
sorry.
everything.
Bludgeoning
What
damage.
what was the calculated Chicxabub meteor impact that caused the last great extinction?
I don't know.
Oh, here it is. Skittles is pulling it up. The impact was has an estimate. The impact has an estimated diameter of 11 to 81 kilometers.
Yeah.
This might. I would think this is meteor. This is like meteor levels of fucking world ender.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just any. And we're not talking some puny meteor swarm thing where it's like these 20-foot radius meteors.
And also, you also have to figure it's not like material coming down to the earth to end it. No, this shit's like ripping it up, like coming from within and then just fucking hurling that shit.
Yeah.
So, God,
Anybody who doesn't know kilometers.
we're talking about
miles.
like almost an
Kilometers,
implosion.
50 miles.
Here we go. Okay, so it was the size of Manhattan. It was the size of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Isn't that so? I'm trying to. The same meteor that caused the extinction. Isn't that what became Everest or no?
I'm not sure.
Oh, recently there's this iceberg that broke away that's the size of New York in Antarctica.
Oh God.
It's pretty cool.
Don't worry. We'll just drop a few more ice cubes in the ocean. That'll help it out. There's always really cool stuff. But here, let's. I want to at least see if we can come up with one more. Let's take these Unearthed Arcana things, and let's really make them stupid. Let's really come up with a character idea that's dumb. Like we're talking broken dumb. Okay, so we have Dampier, Fairy, Hexblade, Hobgoblin, Alfog, Rabbitfolk, and Reborn. From all of these, if we're talking about the ones that are probably the most well balanced, I think Reborn is really well balanced. It doesn't have a lot going for it that is all about like giving it damage and stuff. Because I think the only things it had going from it was the Knowledge from a Past Life, which is an extra D6 on your skill check that you can pick from, and the Warforged things, on top of being able to be advantage on death saves. That I think is really nice. Okay, so right off the bat, I don't think that one's going to be the game breaker. I don't think Rabbitfolk is going to be the game breaker either. It has hops, but that's kind of all it has going for it. Maybe with lucky footwork, it can probably pull off some dumb stuff, but not really. I want to rule out Dampier because I don't think the healing can increase that much more. Let's see. Actually,
You heal the damage of. You heal by the damage you dealt.
Oh, here, no. You regain hit points equal to the damage dealt by the bite. So the bite's damage, it's equal to. It's not a matter of half. But here's the other part that's really interesting. You gain a bonus to the next ability check or attack roll you make equal to the damage dealt by the bite. You pick one of those two. So an ability check or attack roll you gets increased equal to the damage dealt. Let's go down this tree then. Let's save this. How can we increase the damage of this singular bite? You can't. We're not talking about like We're not talking about like, oh, bite over time, because it's all about this one bite. How can we make this one bite do stupid damage so we can either heal a lot, or we can get a roll that will guarantee to be successful. Haste is already off the table because all that's doing is increasing how much we can attack with it, not how strong the individual bite is. And the bite as well, in case you're wondering, is 1d4 piercing damage. You do have it. Oh, here we go. While you're missing half or more of your hit points, you have advantage on attack rolls with the bite. So right off the bat, we can think of sneak attack, because sneak attack will add a lot more into this, and that's already really fucking dumb. Can you paladin smite the vampiric bite?
To my knowledge, you don't have to have like a certain weapon to smite.
I'm taking a look as well. Divine Smite. Starting at 2nd level when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack. Let's take a look at Damp here. Your Fang Bite is a natural weapon, which counts as a simple melee weapon. Okay. Expand 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage in addition to the weapon damage it deals. Yeah. Okay, so you can Divine Smite for some extra damage because it counts as a simple melee weapon. So you can smite with the bite, and you can sneak attack with the bite if you're less than half your hit points, or if you're half your hit points or less. Ooh, okay. Level 20 character. What are we doing to this to make this vampire just all that damage the DM gave to me from this boss fight? I'm gonna make a single attack and guarantee the hit. I would say this: take Oath of Conquest, Paladin, because of the fact that it has the ability where, as a free action on top of the attack, you can use your Channel Divinity to add a +10 to the roll. Meaning that not only do we have advantage, but we can optionally add a +10 in case we miss.
Oh gosh.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna bow out right now because I need to go get some sleep. So it's nice talking to y'all. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, good night, Zen.
Good night, Zen.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So now the question is, if all we're going off is Paladin and Rogue, because you don't want to typically multicast more than one, where's the division here?
So we want damage, right?
Yeah, we want singular damage. That's the key part about making this bite really dumb. Because
So
let's
we
see.
would go assassin rogue, wouldn't we?
Maybe, because if we're going based off the idea that we have advantage because we have half our hit points or fewer, it's either you started the fight with that little hit points or you got to that point in the fight with that little hit points. Let's see.
Pull up assassin.
You can empower yourself with your bite a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay. So if we're level 20, it means we can bite 6 times and gain this feature. So if we're able to bite 6 times and benefit from this, how dumb can we make this? Because this means that no matter what the DM throws at you, the Vampiric Bite is going to either full heal you or make your next attack roll or ability check unable to be missed.
So if the target has not taken a turn yet, it's a critical hit if it's an assassin.
Yes.
Plus smite, assuming we're burning spell slots to get the most, including branding smite or wherever is higher.
Let's see, class features. Paladin gets their strongest spell slot at 17th level. But that's a lot of levels to dump into the Paladin to get a lot of DH, which granted it's a good number of dice, but if you compare that to the Rogue at 20th level with how many sneak attack dice they have, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see, class features. Okay, yeah. Because Rogue at most gets 10 d6s. So let's just put this right. Rogue is 10 d6s, so that's 60 points of damage on paper. Paladin, if let's say it's an undead, to give the Paladin the benefit of the doubt, because there's no way to increase the Rogue's damage, it's Divine Sense. There's a thing about this. Improved Divine Smite is an extra D8 of Radiant. Is this it? Hold on. Divine Smite. Up to a maximum. If the target is a fiend, they take a maximum of 6 D8s. And improved Divine Smite. Whenever you hit a creature, the creature takes an extra 1d8. Now, hold on. By 11th level... Hold on, there's a... Did they change the way improved Divine Smite works? Because Oh yeah, because it's just improved. So the creature takes an extra 1d8. But I don't see it stating there that it increases the limit. I think it's just always been implied. Does improved Divine Smite increase the limit? Okay, so it's not limited by the damage cap. Okay. So improved Divine Smite can make you a maximum of 7d8s with this. And so the extra damage, okay. So we're doing first level is 2d8s. With an undead, it's 3d8s. And then second, third, fourth. That is 6d8s with a 4th level spell. So you don't need to be a high level paladin. You just need to be access to your 4th level spell slots, which is level 13 paladin. Level 15 if you really want 2 of them, because you have 2 attacks in a turn. But level 13. And so with 7d8s, 7 times 8 is 56, which barely falls 4 points below the rogue. So if you want to multiclass, that's cool. You don't have to. Rogue alone with the Vampire will already get a higher damage maximum and a higher damage minimum because there's more d8s thrown at this. Sorry, there's more d6s than there are d8s thrown. So we go Assassin, 3rd level. You're guaranteed to crit. You're guaranteed to crit if it's a creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. So that 10d6s turns into 20d6s. So let's go ahead and take a character. Oh god, do I have settings? I hope I have hardware acceleration turned on. Because I am not about to... You know what? I do not. I'm going to go ahead and just roll this on the Discord. Okay. Exclamation point R.
6 times 20 is 120, so that's the most you could do.
Ah, don't forget, we have 2 d4s because of the bite's initial damage. So that's 8. 128 is the maximum.
Okay.
Roll 2d4s plus 20d6. Okay. And it doesn't say it scales with anything. Let's just be 100% sure. You add your Constitution modifier to the attack and damage rolls. Okay, so your con modifier... Oh, wow, that's actually interesting. That's a con modifier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see a lot of that.
Right? Okay, so here we go. 2d4s plus 20d6 plus 5, assuming that they have the highest con. Which is really weird to imagine a rogue with high con, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
78 points of damage. You have either healed 78 because of that bite attack, which is fucking nuts, or you get a plus 78 to an ability check or an attack roll you make. Oh my god. And if it's a creature who hasn't taken a turn in combat, it's a guaranteed critical, so there's no way they can avoid this attack.
With a plus 78 to attack, would there just be like a bonus to damage or anything like that?
I don't.
God damn.
I can't even imagine how that. Hold on, let me see this. Because the Damp Fear only states this. You gain a bonus to the next ability check or attack roll you make. Yeah. Oh god. Let's see. And if you're missing half your hit points, so let's do this. I just want to like put them in retrospect. A rogue is d8s, right? So 8 times 20, 160. And then you add an additional 40. So a rogue with +5 con, and max rolled HP. Right? Because it's, yeah. And max rolled HP has 200 health, meaning that when you have 100 health and you get the absolute and you get to hit, and I just rolled this, so this is an average number, but in this instance I healed myself 78 out of 200 hit points, so I'm now at 178.
Nice.
And that's a feature I can use 6 times in a day. Okay.
No need for a cleric or anything like that. You just heal yourself with bites.
Yeah, that makes sense, because that's why you'd probably be taking this vampire race. So I think because of the way this is, vampire would make a very fun paladin, or it'd make a very fun rogue, because you have this, you know, way to heal. What was the idea?
And the +78 to attack.
And what was the idea we had earlier? You had earlier, Quinn, about the vampire, the College of Spirits part.
Yeah, the Dampier, that is a College of Spirits, but it's a group of them, and so there's this origin, I think, where it's a parasite in you, and it makes you like hunger more for whatever you took. Basically, they do the seance for the people, and then they kill them, and you know, feast. It's a little more of a spooky, evil one, though.
Yeah. Let's see this. Bard, College of Spirits. I want to see something. Guidance, Spell Focus, Spiritual Focus, Tales from Beyond. Let's see this. Okay. Advantage on attack rolls against the creature if the other enemy is in 5 feet of it. You recite the tale of a clever animal. For 1 minute, the target, which would probably be your ally, has advantage on perception checks and advantage on attack rolls against a creature if another enemy is within 5 feet of it. So, if the rogue is ganged up, and this is also going off the idea that they can't they didn't get their assassination. This is a free way for the bard to give another Dampier or even themselves advantage from the tail.
Oh man.
Wow. There's so much that's cool about this.
See, now I have a question.
What's up?
With the +78 to attack, would you just allow the person to just go for a killing blow that instantly kills the target?
Probably. That's like, because a nat 20 is like, oh, that's cool. I got like a nat 20. What's a +78 to a nat 20?
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh man, I want to see
This
if there's
instantly kills them.
I want to see if there's anything in the tails that can either increase damage or help empower the vampire rogue. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't look like on paper, like right off the bat, there's anything that can help increase the damage, other than just doing the tail of the beast. Stream. Hold on. Let me quickly send out this text. I want 20 nuggets with. All right. This is really a lot. I think if anything, it is a little bit of a shorter time because it is a just chatting one, but I really love doing these things. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna try to take up the last bit of the time slot by talking to you guys a few things about what I have planned for the future, as well as just kind of giving you guys a heads up as to, you know, future topics. Let me get a poll opened up for this as well. Let me open up Twitter. Actually, you know, hold on. Let me not open up Twitter on stream because Twitter can sometimes have certain things on screen. Let me see.
Yeah, we
You should
talked
follow
about
along
a
with
whole bunch
Twitter
of
and stuff,
NSF.
you know?
All right, here. So let me go ahead and get a poll started. So first off, I'd like to make it 3 options. So next week's topic. Let's come with some poll options. I want to put diving into the new book as one of the things because that can be a lot to go into. What do you guys think would be another option that you'd want to probably cover up next week? Because this week was like UA character idea, and then we obviously like trailed off to a really like interesting and dumb idea, but still. Would you guys be curious? Would you guys be interested in doing lore about famous BBEGs?
What's the what is that?
BBEG stands for Big Bad Evil Guy. So such as Strahd, Acererak, the Raven Queen, all of these like big bad evil villains that are centered typically around the campaigns.
I'd like to learn some lore about the baddies.
Yeah.
All right, and then what would be a third topic? So I've come up with these two, but what would be something you guys would really want to like see brought up at the table? This is gonna be a poll, so we'll be able to see this.
I'm trying to think.
D&D the basics.
D&D the basics.
For those that actually are
Actually, you
trying
know what?
to get into D&D,
Let me do
that
this.
wouldn't be such a bad idea to introduce us to them.
I feel like it'd be shit like decision making boot camp because that's the hardest thing.
Well, then
You
here,
have to-
I'll
yeah,
do this.
that's right.
This is probably when we'll start this. So I'll make option 1 diving into the new book, option 2 lore on famous BBEGs, and option 3, which is something I've been trying to figure out how to start for a while. And even if it is an option, it's still gonna be something more talked about. But it is gonna be the D&D workshop itself.
Yeah, that.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Tweet. And all right. It is out. The poll is set. Let me go ahead and like and retweet. Get this put out there. All right. So, let us take a look into this. So, and anything's off. I guess saying about the D&D workshop, the workshop is more just to kind of teach the basics with D&D. However, though, coming in the future, we are planning on utilizing some of the Candlekeep mysteries to be able to help run a bunch of Friday one-shots for those that have always wanted to try D&D but have never had the chance to.
It's an anthology book. That's right.
Yes. So I'm only gonna brush through it and let you guys know. So in case any of you don't know, Candlekeep Mystery is an anthology of 17 mystery-themed adventures. And on top of this, unlike the other ones like unlike let's say Ghost of Saltmarsh, where like I think there might be others that have also done this thing, but like this is not a string of adventures that you can kind of tie along. These are each of the 17 adventures was written by a different author. And so they're their own stories. And on top of this, to really tie this further, each story is a book that you open up and jump into the adventure. It's really cool, and on top of this, it's not like these are all like, oh, they're all gonna be really high. One of the adventures is entirely for level 1. There's one for level 2. I think there's one for level 3. There's 2 for level 4, and there's 1 for 5th level. So right off the bat, we have 6 books that are perfect for beginners. We can have the others that are more for your intermediate players who are more familiar with the beginner stuff but want to know more. And then I think they go up to 15th level or 16th level where that's more of our advanced players. So we have these perfect things for DMs to want to work with. And so regardless of when we get to it, at some point the D&D workshop will happen. It'll be something where we'll be able to help where we'll be able to get DMs who want to try out the game and really get to know it. And you know, hey, run these adventures. You are part of the workshop, so you do get access to some of the books, and that way the DM can have a chance to read through it and get a good feel for what it is. But with that, we'll go ahead and give it a call here. Thank you everyone so much for tuning on in. It's been a pleasure having you all here for our topic. And don't forget to check out the Twitter for the poll, and feel free to subscribe check out the Twitter. The YouTube video will be posted about this in the following day. And of course, follow if you really like the content. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye everyone.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.